2D loading diagrams, field region. Duplicate and detail O2 floor. Let's right click on the browser, duplicate view, duplicate with detail. Once duplicated, we'll be creating a new sort list. Also, we wish to rename this. This will be O2 floor loading. Changing the view sort. And loading. At this point here, we're just going to turn off a few of the tags just to make this a little cleaner and clearer. That's visual graphic overrides. Up the annotation tab. Scrolling down to structural foundation and structural framing tags. Just navigating in towards grid G and H and 1 and 1.1. This will be our first loading diagram. To create the 2D version using field regions, annotate tab, across the region, dropping down field region, in the properties type selector, just below that edit type, we're going to create a new type. We'll duplicate the current, and we'll call this loading 1. We'll be making the color red, background transparent so we can see through and see our structure, and our fill pattern we'll be using diagonal up. And now just creating a shape, we'll work on just rectangular and using a line style of invisible lines. And once complete, green tick for finish. Interrogating our field region, when selecting this, as you can see in the properties area, in the grayed out area, there is area of 52,874 meters square. To be able to create a schedule and display this on drawing sheets, we need to be able to duplicate this value and place it into a separate parameter. In this instance, we'll be using the mark parameter. So just repeating the value 52.874. Now to create a schedule. In the browser left hand side, right clicking on schedule and quantities, creating a new schedule quantity. Field regions are classed as detail items. If we're scrolling down, finding detail item schedule. At this point here, we can add mark, also add comments for later use. We'll also be adding type, also type comments. Just placing an order of type first, the mark, which is the area, type comments and comments. And we get the following result. Being a detail item schedule, this will also pick up any other detail items. So we'll need to come back and adjust a few things. Just closing the schedule, selecting our field region. At this point here we'll be going edit type, just modifying a few additional parameters. Under the type comments we will call this one 5 kPa live load. Coming back to the schedule, as you can see in the schedule now, the type comments has been filled out. Using the filter option inside schedules, under the filter, filter by type comments. If we're just quickly doing equals, we can see the words 5 kPa live load. If this varies in any way but the word load is a common words, we can actually use the word contains. So just recapping, that's the filtering, and using type comments contains the word load. So we're only now left with just the detail items, which is the field region of loads. Just adjusting the schedule to be more applicable to the situation rather than type and mark. If we're going up to now formatting tab, rather than type we can use a heading loading type. In this case here, mark, we can be using area. Type comments, we could be using load, and we'll just leave comments as comments. Just closing the schedule. In addition to schedules, to be able to display some information on plan, i.e. tags, will also be quite beneficial. So first of all we need to load in a tag. Insert, tab, load family, selecting the 2D tag loading family. Now to place the tag, annotation tab, across to the right, tag by category. In this instance we'll drop off the leader and be able to hover over, instantly it's picked up. Looking down the bottom left, it's picked up the detail item, the field region, and place the tag. Please note, being 2D elements, this will not display in Navisworks or other viewing programs. Once completed the loading diagrams on plans, we need to create a matching legend view. To create a legend view, under the View tab, across to Legends, dropping down to Legend, setting this to be scale 1:1 so it's ready to go on a sheet, giving this appropriate name. Now just replicating, drawing ourselves a new field region, knowing this is 1:1 scale. using loading 1 invisible, drawing ourselves an approximate size about 50 by 25. Placing also your tag, annotate tag by categories. Placing some heading text above. Just as text. Just loading legend. You may need to adjust the size accordingly. Repeating the process for any other 2D loading tags. And just ensuring this is actually live data. If we just quickly select our field region loading 1 and edit and change this to be 7 kPa. It's changed here in the legend view, ready for the drawing sheet. We'll just double check the schedule. It's changed there in the schedule as well. And also double checking our plan. So this is now all ready to be placed on an A4 sheet. That concludes 2D loading diagrams.